Avatar is about humans going to another planet that is filled with tall blue people in order to mine its resources. The humans use avatars that look like the native people in order to gain their trust. The natives welcome one of them in and teach him everything about themselves, even though it's guaranteed to blow up in their face. It begins in the year 2154 with Jake Sully waking up to a blue light, almost like foreshadowing. He's on a spaceship to some planet called Pandora, and he's only there because his twin brother was supposed to go but got shot in a mugging, except they couldn't even be bothered to use the same actor for these two shots. So what does this have to do with Jake?
And since your genome is identical to his, you could step into his shoes.
Yeah, more on that later. Pandora's atmosphere isn't breathable, so people have to wear oxygen masks, and they pass over this giant mining site. Jake's crippled, by the way, because I guess they need the audience to feel sorry for him or something. But I guess there's some surgery to fix it, but it's too expensive or the insurance won't pay for it. Why is this important? I don't know. All of these military guys are ex-Marines who are hired for security for the mining operation with their giant robot thing that won't be used later and this giant bulldozer that also won't be used later. Then everyone gets a briefing from the head of security, Miles Corrich, about how everything on Pandora wants to kill them because everything on Pandora is so evil and completely not because the entire security team is a bunch of dicks. Then Jake meets Norman Spellman, a fellow Avatar driver who trained with Jake's brother. Their job is to control these avatars, which are basically synthetic creatures that are a mix of the human and native species of Pandora's DNA, by transferring their consciousness to the avatar's body. I guess we're just gonna accept this and move on, and it only works with the person whose DNA was mixed. The reason Jake can use his brothers is because his DNA is close enough since they were twins. Sure then, next Jake is introduced to Dr. Grace Augustine, the leader of the Avatar program, who acts like an asshole because she's mad his brother isn't there because he died. So she goes to bitch to Parker Selfridge, the CEO of whatever company is mining Pandora, who only cares about making money from Pandora's main resource. And what resource is that exactly?
This is why we're here. Unobtainium.
Seriously? They named their fake resource Unobtainium and expect me to take that seriously. Okay then. Anyway, I guess Earth is dying and this Unobtainium can be used to fix it. But they never explain how, so your guess is as good as mine. Apparently Grace is trying to use the Avatar program to improve relations with the Na'vi, but it's not going well.
Relations with the indigenous are only getting worse.
Yeah, that tends to happen when you use machine guns on them.
Now Jake gets to link with his avatar for the first time, and he immediately knows how to move, stand, walk, and run with his remote body, because I guess someone with zero training with this highly complex and complicated system is just gonna know how to do that, even though everyone else had to have hundreds of hours of training before coming here. I know he's all excited to walk again, but come on, movie. By the way, the Na'vi have these ponytail things that are used to connect to the plants and animals. After that adventure, he meets a pilot named Judy, who's just kind of there for most of the movie. Then he talks to Quaritch, who thinks this whole Avatar program is stupid, but he sees an opportunity to use Jake.
Such a Marine could provide the intel I need, right on the ground.
But why? They're a primitive species who use bows and sticks. There's no war plan they can come up with that can compete with what the humans have there. It's not like the Na'vi are hiding some secret technology. This doesn't make any sense. But Jake agrees for some reason. The next day, Jake, Grace, and Norm go exploring in their avatar bodies. If the point of the avatars is to somewhat blend in and gain the Na'vi's trust, shouldn't they be dressed like the Na'vi and not like humans? And why the hell did they make a big gun for Jake to use if Grace is so strongly against using guns there? But whatever, Jake gets bored while Grace and Norm are gathering samples and wanders off, and starts messing with the plant life like an idiot and runs into this rhino thing. But the rhino runs off once this crappy looking I don't even know what shows up, so he runs and hides under a tree. I know this creature is basically made for the 3D effect and this came out in 2009, but how do you have something look so bad while having the creature next to it look so good? Anyway, he runs some more and jumps off a cliff, so now he's lost and alone. And one of the Na'vi named Natiri is about to shoot him. But then this freaking jellyfish seed happens to land on her arrow, so she decides I guess he's not bad after all and leaves him alone. Meanwhile, Grace's group is looking for him.
He's just gonna have to hang on till morning.
He won't make it till morning.
Wait, what? The avatars are grown in a lab and cost like $1 billion. Are you telling me they don't have any kind of tracking device on these $1 billion things? That is just stupid. Well, it's night now, and Jake is attacked by these 3D tech hyena things, and he shoves his fire stick at the camera, because this was filmed in 3D. And he's about to die, but Neytiri comes in and saves him. Then she throws his fire into the water, so this movie can show off its beautiful special effects. Then she gets all mad at him for making her kill the 3D tech hyena things. Then Jake tries to convince Neytiri to take him to her village.
No. Go back.
So that's decided, until a bunch of these jellyfish seeds land on him, and then she decides, oh, I guess I can take you to my sacred tree village, which is where Grace has been trying to get to for damn near 2 decades now. So Jake has accomplished more in 18 minutes than Grace has in 18 years. Neytiri's village gets really pissed that she brought him there, and Jake tells them that he used to be a warrior on Earth, so the leaders decide they need to teach Jake their ways, because there's no way that could go wrong. Wow, good thing those stupid jellyfish seeds decided to land on him. Then they go to bed and Jake's back in his real body, and he tells Grace, Quaritch, and Parker everything that happened. Now Parker wants Jake to convince the Na'vi to move the village out of their tree, because it's on top of one of the biggest unobtainium deposits on the planet.
What if they won't go?
I'm betting that they will.
Gee, I wonder what that could mean. Back with the Na'vi, Jake is learning how to ride these horse things, and the Na'vi use the weird ponytails to neurologically bond with the animals. I guess that makes sense, but how does that work with Jake's synthetic body? But anyway, he sucks at it. Back at base, Jake is telling Quaritch about the village tree and its weak points, because you know, there's no way that could go wrong. And the Avatar team is moving to the planet's floating mountains. By the way, this planet has floating mountains, because that makes sense. What the hell is happening in this movie? Then we get introduced to these dragon things because this movie doesn't have enough going on. And after some long ass montage of Jake learning the ways of the Na'vi, they take him to tame his own dragon, and the one he gets is the one that tries to kill him. Oh my god, I hope so. Then this terrible movie can be over. But he doesn't die, so now he has a dragon that is bonded and loyal to him and only him for the rest of its life. Just keep that in mind for later. Back at the Sky Mountain base, Grace tells Jake about a sacred tree of souls, as if he hadn't been with the Na'vi for like 3 months.
I would die to get samples.
Whoa, let's not get ahead of ourselves. First, Jake goes back to the base to report to Quaritch, who tells him he has finalized the spinal fixing surgery that I completely forgot was even a thing, for giving him intel he needs to defeat these primitive natives in a battle if needed. But Jake wants to go through the Na'vi's final ceremony to officially become one of them first, so he can negotiate them relocating their village, because I'm sure that's gonna go well. The first half of this is so boring because nothing happens. So much of it is either expedition or the movie just showing off the CGI, but it fails its story because it never makes anyone's motivations for what they do clear. I mean, Jake goes Pandora because his brother died and the company doesn't want to waste the money they spent on his avatar, I guess. I think his motivation is supposed to be getting approved or at least paying for his spinal surgery. It seems like he doesn't even really care. It's just something he knows can be done. He never gets angry about it or even mentions it after the beginning. And Sam Worthington's performance is so monotone that if that is his motivation, he does a terrible job of showing it. I kept forgetting that was even a thing until Quaritch brought it up again. Honestly, he seems more obsessed with getting Jake that surgery than Jake is. I don't even know why Quaritch wants Jake to gather intel on the Na'vi for him in the first place. It's not like they're technologically advanced at all. They're primitives who use sticks and arrows. I'm pretty sure a military plane isn't gonna have a problem dealing with that. Or why Quaritch wants Jake to make him schematics of their tree fort. They show that they have scans of the land, and we have scanners now that can scan underground. You're telling me we're not gonna have drones that can scan the inside of a tree in 100 years? I also don't understand why Neytiri even brings Jake to her village in the first place, other than because the plot needs her to and these jellyfish seeds landed on him. I know they're supposed to be sacred spirits or something, but even still. And there's no reason for the elders to want to teach Jake their ways. He even tells them that he's a warrior among the humans. You know, those people who invaded their planet, destroyed their land, and are forcibly mining their main resource. Yeah, that seems like a good idea. The only one who sees anything wrong with this is Sute, but he's too much of an asshole to adequately convey this, so no one listens to him. The acting is really hit and miss. Sam Worthington is awful as Jake Sully. He acts like he has no idea how to play this role, and he either seems bored or like he's completely lost as to what's going on, and he has no inflection in his voice at all. Half the time, I had no idea how he was supposed to be feeling. Sigourney Weaver gives a great performance as Dr. Grace Augustine. She does her typical sassy, tough girl know-it-all, but at least she's believable with it, and she actually seems to know how to act in an all CGI environment. Zoe Saldana is okay as Neytiri. She does this weird accent that I'm not quite sure what she's going for, but she does play an alien, so it kind of makes it work, even if it makes some of her lines sound really bad. At least she seems like she's having fun with the role. The CGI is fantastic for the most part. This is a beautiful movie with lots of vibrant colors and visually pleasing environments. The plant life in Na'vi look great, like they're almost photorealistic, but there are some creatures that do not hold up to the test of time. Like that big thing that first attacks Jake, or the hyena type creatures. I know they were most likely made for the 3D effect, but they do not look realistic at all. I just don't get how you could have something look so bad in an environment and next to other creatures that look so good. Don't worry, I will talk about the 3D in part 2, and why I'm glad that trend died. Don't forget to do the YouTube stuff, and thanks for watching.